This is the Wild and Fearless podcast. Join Bec Fox, renowned business leader, coach, and avid adventurer, and go inside the hearts and minds of ordinary women doing extraordinary things. Wild and Fearless, women inspiring legendary dreams.
Hi legends, welcome to another Wild and Fearless project and podcast. We're here today to explore the wonders and the incredible insights from a beautiful woman who's offered her time generously. I want to introduce to you our woo-woo times with Lulu. Welcome, Lou. It's so wonderful to have you here. I can't believe it. You're the very first woman to say yes and to be here for the Wild and Fearless podcast. So please welcome and a big hooray to you.
Thank you so much. I wouldn't have missed this for the world. Great opportunity.
It's great to have a chat, isn't it? And to catch up.
In the flesh.
In the flesh, exactly.
In the flesh.
And that's how we want these podcasts to roll out, to be really natural, very organic, really raw. And of course, the reason why I've invited you to come here today is because of your extraordinary story. Here you are, 55 plus, made a major life transition and a major milestone and a difference in your life. And I would love you to share that with other women and young girls.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been very much an on-again, off-again relationship with myself.
Yes.
And I finally decided, fuck that, just dive in. So I did. And for me, it was, the realisation was I'd left a long-term toxic relationship, learned a lot, so very, very grateful for what I learned in that, and then landed in a toxic workplace.
Oh, double whammy.
And when I realised that, I was like, I just kind of blew up a family for that. Why would I be in the same place? You know, I was heading back down in burnout. There was no respect and no appreciation. I thought, this feels familiar. So I thought, I'm, backing away. COVID hits, right? So we all get sent home to work. I'm dealing with my parents ageing and getting ready to transition. So, yeah, I was a little bit stressed in that space anyway. But the pressure of somebody not understanding what no means, I can remember being in a Zoom meeting and completely losing my shit because they didn't understand what no meant.
Absolutely.
And I thought, that's it, I've got to get out. I can't do this anymore. And when I recognised that and I thought, well, what am I going to do? And I want to wait. You've been in and out of a little hobby business all your life. So I asked myself a question. What if you just do that? And when I asked myself that question, it became really calm.
Everything fell away, all that stress.
Really calm. I was quiet inside myself and I just thought, oh my God, who quits a good paying job in the middle of COVID where you're not allowed out to start a business? Oh wait, that'd be me.
That's me.
So that's me.
It's my new beginning.
And it felt amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now I am the absolute happiest I've ever been in my entire life.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Just like the stressiest part of my day was driving here.
Yeah.
That's like...
It's a pretty happy life, isn't it? When you find something that you really believe in and you live congruently with your values.
Yeah.
It's when you find the inner peace just it reigns over everything.
Absolutely. And for me, it was like following my heart and looking back in reflection and going all the times that I was on again, off again, and I wasn't following my values. Go like this. If I don't follow my values, I end up like that, and then my body would follow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, what?
Yep. And unpack that a bit for us, because a lot of women are feeling the same. They're in a toxic work environment or they're in a toxic relationship.
Yep.
But they kind of know it, but they don't actually really grasp the indicators that until their body collapses on them. And, of course, we were talking about this before the show.
Yeah.
It's about that's when it's almost too late because you're so exhausted and it takes so much more energy to recuperate and to get back on track.
Yeah.
So tell us what you felt when you were in those environments.
Chances are the adrenal glands are going to go.
Yes.
And then there's a whole lot of hormonal shit that happens with that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it takes ages and ages and ages and ages and ages to come back.
Yeah.
So, no, we don't want that for anyone.
No, that's right.
Like, seriously. I noticed it because I was comparing to the relationship, right? And I noticed I'm tired. I'm not sleeping. It didn't matter what I did. Pardon me, I couldn't get my body to move the way that I needed it to move. There was repetitive thoughts in my head. I did not want to get up and go into work. I was feeling so sick.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I was looking for something that was going to give me some peace, just where I could just go away and be me. And that was this little hobby business. So for me, it was just taking one step. If you can just take one step, just one, towards where you'd rather be, then that's what you do. So even if I take it back past that and I look at the relationship, because that took a while for me to realise what was happening. It took me a long time actually to realise what was happening and to get out of that. So I had a vague plan
of what to do. But that first step's the most vital, isn't it?
Absolutely
Momentum.
Vital. And it is actually all about who's around you.
Yeah.
100% who's around you. Like, for me, while I was in the workplace, it was a couple of workmates who could see what I couldn't. And to trust the people that are around you, to trust the people that really, really love you, because they've got your back. Even though it may not feel like it at the time, they'll have your back and they'll allow them in, come talk to you.
Yep.
And that's what they did. Little bit by little bit, they'd drop little seed feeds, and then I started to see and go, holy fuck,
yes,
I'm not safe.
Yes.
Yeah, I have to get out. And then, so I got out and I thought I was done. And I wasn't done because I hadn't worked on me. And I went straight back in to a toxic work environment.
You found something really familiar?
Nice
and toxic?
And it felt familiar.
Yep.
And that was the thing, what feels familiar here. And look around and really find who your supports are. Because for me, I just could not have done that on my own.
Yeah.
I just could not have done that on my own. I needed the support and for someone to say, no, you're not going mad. That's actually happening, and that did happen.
This is not normal.
This is not normal.
Waking up feeling really sick is not normal.
Yeah, that's not normal, Lou.
Crying during meetings is not normal.
Feeling
Feeling enormous pressure and losing shit is not normal.
It's not normal. Like, something's wrong here. And like,
and it's not you. It's actually, a lot of the time it's not to do with you. It's for the environment that's creating that stress.
All about your environment. All about your environment. And I guess...
Because we do take things on as women that, it must be me, it must be me.
Yeah,
maybe I'm not
do.
strong enough. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. But it's actually quite the opposite.
Absolutely. So you've made a really good point there. And so look at your environment, right? Because we can take a little fish out of a pond and clean him up, right?
Make it nice and shiny.
Nice and shiny. And put him in a nice clean pond. What's he going to do? He's going to thrive, right?
Yeah.
But if we take that fish out of the pond and we give him a clean and make him nice and shiny and we put him in the same pond without making any change, guess what? He's got about 2 weeks or he'll cark it.
Exactly.
Well, I didn't want to cark it.
No.
So I got out of the environment once I realised that that's what it was. So environment is everything.
Yeah. And taking that step, that first step, it can be something so minute, can't it? Like, it can be as simple as, I'm having a day off today. And I'm going to have a massage, I'm going to go and have a haircut, I'm having a day for me.
Absolutely.
And having that rest. So those things can start sinking into your psyche about, hey, this is what life's about.
And that's a good point. Backpedal a bit. Throughout that relationship that I was in for so long, there were times when I knew I needed to do something and I didn't know what. And here's what happened to me. All of those times I landed in hospital, right?
There you go.
So hospital became my time to think.
Yep.
I didn't want to do that again.
Yep.
I didn't want to have to go to hospital to have some space to think. So
Good one.
Yeah, it dawned on me, hang on a minute. Just think. Just create some alone space time. So exactly all the things you're saying, all the things you're saying, you know. And I used to be a person, I guess, not trusting anyone because of what I'd been through, and who would believe you anyway, right? So let's just not tell anyone, and I can do it all because I'm a superwoman, right?
Yep.
Yeah, right.
I bet there's a lot of people who are listening to this podcast now saying, I identify with that 100%.
Because you do think you can do it, and there's a lot of shame and there's a lot of guilt and all of the things that come with that, because you don't want to admit, look, you know, 20 years ago I was told this wasn't right and now I have to say they were right. I don't want to do that, you know, all this kind of stuff.
Yep. Or I've got to admit that I'm in a domestically violent relationship or an unhealthy relationship and I have a sense of failure, all the things that coupled with that.
And not even realising that you're in it, feeling stupid.
Yep.
Because
you're being drip-fed that you are stupid.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
am I really in a DV cycle? Holy shit.
That's not me. I can't
Yeah,
be.
no,
It
that's
can't
not
be
me.
That's
I've
for other
studied.
women.
That's not me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a load of shit. Yeah. It creeps up on you. You don't know.
Yeah.
It happens. It just happens. It's like they take an inch and push, and then you'll arc up, and then they stop.
Yep.
And
Give you
then
some space and
they
then-
push back, and that's a tactic, you know. That's
It's
a real
called a cycle
thing.
of domestic violence. For anyone who's
Yeah.
listening and you want to know a bit more about it, then sure, get out there. Cycle of domestic violence. It's very real.
It is real, and I didn't know I was in it.
Yep.
And in it until I realised, and then I got out, and then I thought, I'm great, I'm done, and I walked straight back in again.
To a workplace domestic
workplace.
violence. Yes.
So here's what I'd say. I was one of those people that used to say you don't need a coach and you don't need support, and that has turned out to be the biggest bullshit story I've ever told myself, because it was those people with those skills that helped me.
Absolutely.
Help me stand up, become strong and confident, and to just go, you know what, I fucking matter. I do matter,
100%.
and I'm going to do what I've always wanted to do that I was never really able to do because I was too busy doing all the other things. Now I'm going to do it.
Yay for you.
Yay.
Woo! I feel like standing up in this chair and clapping.
Yeah, I feel fantastic for doing it, you know, like to trust me. And it's been a work. It's been a work in process. I've done a lot of work. So what I would say to all your beautiful listeners is find the right people. The environment matters, because you don't want to be that little fish going back into the same toxic pond.
Exactly.
Right? Because that's what I did.
Yep.
Got all shiny
Same
and then
polluted
jumped
water.
back in the bloody pond.
Yeah, exactly. I feel great. Oh, I've just had a holiday. I feel great. I'm just going to jump back in. Yeah.
Yeah, end up the same.
Yeah.
So recognise the signs, learn
Worse.
it,
Yeah.
learn the signs. What is that domestic violence cycle you're talking about?
What is a workplace that's toxic? What is that all about? You know?
What does that look like? What are the flags?
Yeah.
Where's my
And
boundaries?
it really does come down to the heart, doesn't it? Because you actually know in your gut and your heart whether or not it's the right place for you.
Yeah, because every time we feel, I don't really want to do that, I don't really feel comfortable, but we say yes, we're actually saying no to ourselves, 100%.
100%.
And how many times are we going to do that before we break our own heart
Yep.
or end up in hospital?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So tell us more about this wonderful hobby. And I wouldn't call it a hobby now,
Not
because you've
anymore.
leapt not just little steps, you've jumped with both feet into that pond,
Yeah.
and it's more like an ocean. And I love talking to you about it the other day, because you were talking about how you had an idea that you'd be surrounded by women who are your
Oh my
age
God,
and
yes.
like-minded, and it'd be
Yes.
you're going to attract all these wonderful women in your life, but it's quite
I went-
different.
I went looking for a tribe, right? I'm thinking
Yeah.
I'm tribe, right? So I'm a little bit woo-woo.
Yeah.
Right?
Woo-woo with Lulu.
Yeah, woo-woo with Lulu, exactly. So I thought, right, these people are going to be around my age. They're going to be into all the things, might have a few dreadlocks,
Yep.
coloured hair, something a
Yep.
bit funky, wear all the rainbow things. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
I came across this mob. I have a beautiful, supportive friend of mine, 11 years I've known her.
Yep.
And she said to me this day, Lou, I want you to go to this one-day event. And I'm like, oh, God, yep, righto, because I trust her. She's helped me, so I trust her. So I went along. And they did this particular exercise with money. Well, that was it. I just thought, I'm doing this exercise. I was snot crying, because I'm like, oh my God, I've got no value about myself.
Who
I'm
am
all this
I?
self-worth. Whose voice is this? All the things. It was an amazing exercise. So I just said to them, I don't know what you've got and I don't know what you do, but I want it and I want it all. Sign me up.
Yeah, great.
So that's what I did. And that became this beautiful place, and they offer this, it's like free coaching on a Wednesday morning on Facebook. So I share that with as many people as I can. And I'm in that community.
And feel free to share it now, because that's what's...
Yeah, excellent. Well, it's called Coffee and Consciousness.
Yeah,
and
fantastic.
it's live on Facebook every Wednesday morning at 6:30.
Yep,
And
Queensland time.
Queensland time, yeah. And they even allow you, like, in the Zoom room. So you can get in the Zoom room, and it's all about just supporting people who are heart-led and passion-driven. It is the most supportive environment I have ever had the pleasure of coming across.
Yeah.
And there is absolutely never seen this before or felt it, no competition whatsoever. And I mean that, because it is full of different coaches of all different kinds. It's full of nutritionalists, all different kinds of people.
NLP coaches, business coaches, leadership coaches,
psychic coaches, all the things.
Psychic,
all the things. And yet they share everything. And
Fantastic.
the topic is there is no topic. So this morning, to give you an idea, we spoke about surrender, trust, fun.
Yep.
How important it is to have fun.
Hugely.
And how that matters, because it goes back to going to hospital, right?
Yeah.
So all of those things. And yet this is business coaching.
Absolutely.
Right?
It's all interwoven, and people don't realise this, but it is.
Such a spiritual journey.
What great topics, though. Surrender, trust and fun.
Yeah, surrender, trust, fun.
What a beautiful combination they are.
Yeah, and there was a few other things like acceptance, you know, like all in there. And there's this saying like same devil, new level. So it's like no matter where you go in life and the lessons that you've learned, we're all like an onion, right? So you peel all the crap away and you get all bright and shiny, and then something else will come to see where you're at. So that's the same devil, different level.
Different level,
How
exactly.
are you going to deal, right?
Yeah.
And it's,
And that's where coaching is so important, because coaches can
100%.
help you see what you often don't see.
100%.
So it's your unconscious is working and driving you, but you're not aware of it until it becomes aware to you.
That's it.
So-
And this is what that does,
Yeah.
right? Because it shows you very quickly. And it's like, how long are you going to stay in that? And it's a great tool to look back and go, 5 years ago, if my mum had passed 5 years ago, I would not have got up and done the things I did. I'd still be laying in that bed.
Yeah.
And these people, just coaching in general, I guess, but these guys, they're just amazing, and they're so heartless, and like they're 30, and I'm like, what 30-year-old good-looking guys are going to be interested in an old 55-year-old
It sounds pretty good to all
woman,
the
you know?
listeners. Like here you are saying you're surrounded by all these yummy, good-looking 30-year-old guys. Like,
Amazing.
hello, sign me up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
are
Find me a
amazing.
coach. Yep.
Yeah. Like we had like what we had. I think we had like
Even our sound crew's laughing their heads off over here. You can't see them. They're in the background, but they're just killing themselves laughing, going, yeah, sign us up too.
I think we had 30 people on Facebook and like 28 people or something in the Zoom room. That's how much they've grown. Now, they've only been doing this like for 12 months or so.
Yeah, it's
so
great.
maybe 2 years at the most, and that's how it's organic. It's really organic.
And even if you don't link into this particular face group site, go and ask about coaches.
Absolutely.
Or who's a great mentor? Who mentored you? Who modelled the way for you?
Who
'Cause
do you
don't
wanna
need to be
be?
a coach to be a great influencer.
That's it. Who do you want to be?
Yep.
Find someone, walk into a room, find the person that's good at the thing,
Yep.
and model them.
Exactly. Model them all the
Model
way.
them. That's
and
it.
get the support, as you said, get the community and that support around you. That is going to make you shine and soar. They're not going to belittle you and devalue you.
That's it.
Really crucial.
So that's exactly right. I feel so seen in this environment. So I'll give you the example of why that is. So doing what I do with all the woo-woo stuff.
Yep,
right?
the woo-woo Lulu.
All the
I love
woo-woo,
it.
yeah. All the things.
And she's talking about a whole range of things, everyone, like spiritual healing and readings and things.
I do. So I've read cards for over 40 years.
Yep.
Wow.
Not a hobby anymore.
No, my nan, when I was 10, introduced me.
Yep.
Sat me on the lounge room floor, put all the cards around me, and said, read the picture. And I'm like, you can't read a picture, Nana. She says, you can and you will. Oh, shit, okay. So
She's a woman who saw your abilities, though.
she did.
Yeah.
She did. And I, as a consequence, teach the same way.
Yeah,
Not quite as
fantastic.
abrupt, but I do teach it. So that's the thing. I love teaching that. That really lights me up when I do that. And
You can hear it in your passion, in your voice.
Absolutely. And I have done like all your NLP and your TRTP. So basically work with people who have experienced trauma like the DV,
Yes.
all the things, and empower them so that they can choose to live whatever life they want and know that that's in them.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
don't need anything else.
Yep.
and
We've
to
got everything we
surround
need within
themselves with
ourselves. We just got to, as you say, unpeel those onions and get down to that heart.
Well, what is
and
it-
the true essence of yourself that is
Absolutely.
can be lost through life experience,
Well,
good
what
or
is-
bad or neutral.
Exactly.
And find
Great
that
question.
essence.
What are you pretending not to know? Right?
Exactly.
Yeah?
Great question.
Great question. What are you pretending not to know? That's one of those questions that we
Are you
sit and ask.
surrendering yourself today to the real you?
Absolutely.
Or to someone else's version of you?
Yeah.
Another great question.
Right. Someone
Yeah.
else's version. Isn't that a
Yeah.
good thing to unpack?
Yep.
Yeah.
Unpack that one in a couple of hours, yeah.
So when I'm pretty involved with these people that I was talking about, and what's happened as a result of that for me is that I'm actually like part of their team, and when we do our day events or our 3-day events or anything like that, my role is energy security.
Oh, how magic.
It is fucking magic because I get to do my thing and hold the container and send the energy and have people safe. And I get to see so much stuff when people are cracking open. It's like they've just cracked open, or this one's having an emotional response, or before it happens, you know, or you see them thinking. Like, now I would never, ever have dived into that had I not been asked.
Exactly.
By these
and
people
invited.
that saw that I had the ability.
Yep.
And I was like, you think I can do that? They're like, fuck yeah. Do you hold circles, Lou? Yeah, all the time. Yes, then you can do that.
Then you can
I'm
do
like,
that.
I never
Are you
thought about it.
intuitive? Can you sense what other people are going on in other people's lives? Yes. Okay, you can do this.
Yeah.
And we need people like you to be there when people are having breakthrough moments.
That's correct. Yeah. So
To hold them and be their support, the things that you've had.
and this
Just
is
pass
the
it forward and pay it
opportunity
forward.
because I said yes to me.
Yeah.
I said yes to me,
Yeah.
right? It wouldn't have happened if I didn't say yes to me. So I'm like, oh my God.
Tell you what, it sure beats going back a few years and you're in a toxic environment and in the workplace and before that with your partner.
Yeah.
It's what a whole new lifestyle. So really at the age of
Completely.
55, you've basically reborn.
100%
You
reborn.
become you.
Yeah. All these things that I didn't know existed in me.
Yeah.
There's the strength, and like, I've known I've had tenacity, but I didn't know how to channel it properly, and now I do. And the other thing I've learned is that through those toxic environments, which I'm grateful that I had the experience, I back then in the past felt like when I would try and stand up for myself, I was doing it in a really aggressive way. And now I
Peace.
know that it's not that way, and I've learned the peaceful way. And the peaceful way is to know whether I'm a priority in that environment or not. And if I'm not, that's not up to me for jostle for position. It's up to the people who I'm with to work out why I'm not.
Yep. Or for you to
Because I'm going
find
to walk
another
away.
environment.
Well, I'm going to walk away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So either there's something going on where I'm not a priority, so go away and think about that,
Yep.
or I just need to walk away
Yeah. It's
and
not the
choose
right,
me.
Not the right tribe.
Find the right tribe,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
Walk away and found the right tribe.
Wow, I can imagine young women listening to this podcast just being absolutely blown away with what you have to say and going, I just got to trust me. I just have to
Absolutely.
surrender and
Yeah.
really find me again.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
it's that, you know, like if you get 5 minutes just to have an uninterrupted cuppa in the morning,
Yep.
or just start with 5 minutes, guys.
Yep.
Just 5 minutes, because I remember what it's like. I remember one day sitting out in the backyard underneath the begollery thing, watching the ants, watching them and going, because that's all I had in that moment was my breath and those ants.
Yep.
And I was just, to get back into the now, I was watching the ants where they were going and thinking, look at them working together.
Yeah.
Look how they just follow each other around. What happens if I just go like that in their line? Oh, they kind of go around it.
And they work as a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. And just doing that for 5 or 10 minutes just allowed me just to forget about all the stuff that was going on. And that's when spirit or source or God or whatever you want to call it has a moment to drop in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they give you the idea or the feeling or the just knowing.
Glimpses.
The
yeah,
glimpses of what
the real
can be.
you.
Yeah,
exactly.
what can be. Or those bizarre ideas like, let's start
Wacky,
a business in the middle of
wacky
COVID.
ideas. Exactly. But it's so true, and I think that's where nature and if you can get yourself in your garden or outside where you're just breathing in the air, nature is such a powerful essence and energy that it can actually drop in those really awakening moments and where you can sit and reflect. And it can be 5 minutes, as you say, it could be half an hour a day. It could be, just take yourself away for the weekend, change your routine, but make sure nature and your garden or something that is more important than bricks and mortar is your key environment to self-worth and your self-reflection.
And because your environment starts with yourself too, right? So one of the things that I used to do was to do something different every day, and that would be either wear my hair different or put a different pair of earrings on or wear different shoes or a different colour than I would normally.
Yeah.
And here's what I learned from doing all of that. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Totally.
Because then your comfort zone gets bigger and bigger,
Bigger and
right?
bigger,
And
yep.
you get safer and safer in yourself in that.
Exactly.
And build up some courage, because sometimes you need an exit strategy.
I think everyone should have an exit strategy. If you're feeling it, you start planning an exit strategy. And
Yeah, safely.
Yeah, safely.
Yeah.
Exactly. Then it is number one important that you're safe.
Yeah,
Psychologically,
absolutely.
physically, emotionally,
Yeah,
you know,
and
spiritually, financially, socially, list
well,
goes
that's
on.
the thing, isn't it? It's all the
Yeah.
survival stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And that's actually what I love about one of the modalities that I work with, which is the TRTP, because it's all about that. It is all about introducing the person back to who the essence of who they really are, not who they've become along the way,
Yeah.
or not who they think they should be, or so-and-so thinks they should be, but
Or who they've become
really,
because of circumstances.
absolutely. So it's just who they really, really are. So powerful, seen so many shifts in that, and then they go through the process. Once they've got to get that first,
Yeah, absolutely.
and then away they go.
Yeah.
I love it. I
Cool.
absolutely love it.
Lou, this has been so fantastic talking today. But before we roll and wrap it all up, I'd love for you to think about what would be one key message you can hand out to people who are watching, so young girls and women of all ages, and also men, and non-binary.
Yep.
What's your key message that you have for everyone from your experiences?
From my experiences, yeah, sit still, lean into here, lean all the way in,
To your heart?
all the way in.
Yeah.
And then do one thing that's going to lead you closer to that. Because I am seriously the happiest I've ever been in my life,
Yeah.
just because I leaned in. And when you get a coach, you've got to lean right in.
Yeah, you might be
Right
pushed
in.
a little bit further than you think, but that's good too. Stepping outside your comfort zone is the best way.
It is the best way.
Yeah.
It is to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? I'm like, one
Yeah.
thing, Bec, one thing, really? One thing? So many things.
I know there could be. Yeah, I shouldn't have said one, should I? Well, we could be here for another hour
We could.
easily.
We could easily for all the things.
How do
But
people
yeah.
contact you, Lou? 'Cause this just so for the listeners, this is all about collaboration and about
Yes,
sharing.
it is, yeah.
And it's not about wild and fearless. It's about sharing what you have to offer. So if anyone wants to reach out to you, how do they do that, Lou?
So they can get me via Facebook. There's two ways there. So my business is actually called Soulful Awakenings, and you'll see my little face.
Yes, I love it.
And also on Facebook, I've actually learned about all the algorithm things, that it's under my personal page as Lulu Fletcher.
Yeah, LULU for those who are looking for it.
Yeah,
Yep.
LULU Fletcher under there. So they can get me on there, or they can contact me on my mobile. Should I say
Absolutely.
my mobile? Okay,
Yeah.
so that is 0400 791 233.
Wow, nice number too.
Yeah, beautiful, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much. This has been a
thank
blast.
You. I know, and I'm
Like-
sure for those who are listening and watching, please hit subscribe and like what you've heard, and please share it with many other women
Yeah.
out there and all people. It's not just for women, but it is about women inspiring legendary dreams and who are fearless, and you are certainly that, Lulu. You certainly are.
Thank you.
It's been fantastic having you here today.
I'm so glad we met.
Oh, always.
All
People are
that
supposed
time
to.
ago.
Oh, it's all that time ago. And the journey has only just begun, as you say.
And it has, and it is
Yep.
like that, isn't it?
Oh, definitely interwoven.
You know.
People come into your life for a reason, and you're one
Yeah.
of those people. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't you love being able to look back and see the dots?
oh, absolutely.
Like, oh my God, that's why.
And celebrate.
Celebrate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I celebrated my biggest month ever
Yeah,
with my beautiful friend Michelle.
fantastic.
We hired, or she hired out the Marriott, and we just went.
Oh, went to
bang.
town.
We did go to town.
I love
So
it.
yeah,
I love
and
it.
and that's the collaboration that you're talking about, right?
Absolutely.
We're all celebrating each other.
Absolutely.
And,
Celebrate each other's success, celebrate your own.
Yeah.
And success is, let's not even get started there. It can mean a million things.
million things, yeah.
Yeah. Find out what it is for you
Yes.
and celebrate it.
Thank you. Thank you
Thanks,
so
Lou.
much.
Mwah.
Yeah, I definitely want to inspire them, because I remember. I remember.
And do you know how many millions of people are going to identify with that story?
I hope so, because it's
Millions.
like, yeah. Because you fall into the
we'll touch
whole
hundreds first, then
people-pleasing
thousands,
thing,
Yeah.
you know, and the codependent thing, right?
And you do fall back into the same environment because it's your comfort and it's security, that it's the known. Oh, we've got a woman who's an
safe,
absolute
right?
bitch. Well, I'm used to that, so that's comfy. I can handle that.
Yeah. I
This
know.
is my comfort zone. It's easy.
I know how to get stressed.
Yeah.
I'll be going to hospital in about a week, I think.
And I love the fact that you shared all that too. It was fantastic.
Yeah, well, that's true story. It's exactly how it happened. I remember the first time it happened, and I was working full-time. I'd been made redundant from the bank.
Yeah.
The ex-husband had...
A lot to say about it.
He'd been in an accident where he'd been attacked. So he had a lot of... And in the beginning, it was very real.
Post-traumatic stress.
In the beginning, he had post-traumatic stress, absolutely, hands down, and he needed assistance.
Yep.
Definitely did. So in the middle of that, I get made redundant. So then I'm like, shit, what am I going to do? So I end up going, because I'd worked in the office, so I'd gone to Big W, being their invoice clerk, right? Full-time. Between that, 2 departments, I got into 2 departments.
Imagine how much pressure that is. Yeah.
Oh, my God. And dealing with all that other shit. So, and I remember I ended up in hospital.
Yeah.
So sick. All my digestive stuff, because I couldn't digest what was happening.
Oh, yeah,
right?
exactly.
So you don't follow your values, your body follows, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And that's what happened to me. And then the time alone gave me an opportunity to view, and this is going to sound really bizarre, how a regular family functions, because I was in a room with 4 women and their families would come in.
And visit. And
I'm watching this going...
That's kind of normal.
Holy fuck, that's how you're supposed to be. Oh, my God, we're not functioning like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Is that amazing?
I did not
Thank goodness
know.
You went to hospital. It's almost like the
best thing
the
ever.
awakening.
It was, Bec. It really was. And then
confronting, I imagine,
completely. And then I thought, all right, I'm just gonna just watch all of this, and I was watching. And then in that quiet time, because the girls weren't old enough to drive then, and he was in no condition to, so I had a bit of space.
Yep.
And in that space, download.
Yeah.
All these downloads about, okay, you know what? You actually can get the contact centre link, you can get the carer's pension, you can work part-time and still get the same money, you're okay.
Yeah.
And I thought, I wonder if I can do that. And I did.
Yep.
So,
and then you went to Centrelink, but they supported you, and then support.
I did, and I happened to get an incredible person on the phone who told me, hypothetically, what I needed to say.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I knew then how to fill out the form and what to say. Yep. And that gave me a breather, you know?
Well, you had that security then. You had that financial security, which so many women don't have.
That's what you need.
And that's what they fear. I can't leave this toxic environment, whether it be work or relationship, because I'm financially...
Because of this, so
I'm trapped
in this. I'm trapped,
I feel trapped. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so that was...
And they don't realise that there's so much support out there for...
Well, you don't know. You don't know.
Women.
You just don't know. And I think the second time that happened, I was like, yeah, I need an exit strategy.
Yeah.
How many times am I going to come to hospital? Like, bad.
And when it's going to get worse the next time?
Well...
Potentially.
The next time.
There may not be a next time.
That's right. You know how close I came to that because for what was going on? So it was really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Really, really interesting, and subtle.
Thank goodness you got through it.
Oh,
and
my
you got
God.
out.
And I'm really glad, because now I look at this whole situation as, because we were together for 36 years, right? So I didn't know any different, and nor did he, you know, and I'm not an angel in that, let me tell you. Like I said, I was yelling, trying to be heard, right? So not a good way to be. So
escalating everything.
I was.
Well, you both were,
Yeah. And now I look at it and go, once upon a time, he and I had a conversation before we were born that went like this.
Yeah.
We're sitting at the table. I'm saying, you know what? I need someone to teach me what self-worth is and what self-love is. And he said, you know what? I love you so much. I'll do that. I'll be relentless at it. I won't stop.
As in, I'll teach you exactly how worthless you are?
Well, I wanted to know self-love. So self-love and self-worth has to come from self.
Absolutely.
Right? So he took that on.
Yep.
He did an amazing job. He was absolutely relentless. And when I realised self-worth is about me.
Exactly. You can't ask for it, you must find it within.
Find within, that's right. Then I was able to step up. And that's how I seriously view that now and go, fuck, he did a good job.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you for that. That was the best lesson ever.
Absolutely, because now...
It took me a while. I'm Yeah, but what a
Took
great
me
lesson.
way too long.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I'm confident. I'm running my own business. I have daughters who are looking to me to, the next generation to see.
You're their mentor. You've inspired them a new way too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So now it's about me gaining my own financial independence without relying on the system.
Yep, it's fantastic.
I'm not going to rely on the system, so I don't need to.
No, you don't need to.
Yeah. So that's...
So, you see?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
beautiful.
Ah,
Share that message across the world.
well, I wouldn't change it for the world, Bec,
Yeah.
at all.
No.
Wouldn't change it.
You look wonderful, and your energies, compared to what I saw when you went through all that hardship.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's a different Lou. Oh, beautiful Lou. Lou was still there, but you are just beaming now. So fantastic.
Yeah, and that's the environment, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And sharing and knowing that the support is there and
Yeah,
safety and,
exactly.
It
It's gold. It's pure gold.
is. Thank
Sprinkle
you so
that
much.
gold dust everywhere.
Yeah.
Sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. Round. Love it.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, cool.
Magic. Often coaches say, and I've said as a coach too, and what happens if you do slip back into the old? How are you going to recognise that and how are you going to get yourself back out?
100%.
Because there is a chance you will slip back. And you did once.
Oh, mate, I did
hopefully
that shit multiple
never
times.
again.
But yeah, never again.
I don't think so. You're too strong.
No, and there comes a
You're
moment
very
where
clear about who you are.
I don't know about you, but I personally feel a click in my head. I'm like,
Absolutely.
oh, there it is.
Well, you feel it in your whole
Something's
body. You feel
Yeah.
this warmth come through and you just feel like, it's almost like whatever's you're holding within that's not serving you has exploded and it's gone and you've got this whole new inner self.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. I think like along this journey for however long COVID's been here, I've probably once or twice gone, oh, maybe I should just contact someone and get a job. Nah, fuck that.
No,
Yeah. Nah, fuck that. Yeah.
And you may do in the future. You never know. If you find the right people in the right environment, you may. And it's not a failure to go back to a workplace.
No, not at all.
But it's got to be the right environment.
Absolutely, because success
Because
is
it may
what we
actually
deem
step
it.
you outside your comfort zone and propel you even further on your journey. You just don't know, do you?
No, you don't.
You don't know till it comes across your table and you go, didn't think that was going to happen, but that's a good opportunity.
Yeah, because sometimes it leads you to the next thing, like
Exactly.
you say, right?
Yep,
And
next
then you
sunset.
think, oh, yeah, that's where I'm at, right? And you never know who knows who.
Exactly.
Yeah, or who you're going to reach or touch or
Exactly.
help or...
And that's the magic. That's where the magic happens.
It is.
Yeah.
Like someone said to me, what do you do? And I'm like, what do I do? Okay, I love to help uplift and inspire people. That's what I do.
Yep.
I just happen to do it using these tools.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
And you have and you will continue to.
Because that's been the consistent thing throughout my whole life. Like when I was little, really little, always went for the underdog. So as in would support them.
Yeah,
and I can
yeah.
remember bringing home a young girl's shoes and saying to my mum, can you clean her shoes? And my mum going, you can't do that, Louise. And I'm like, why not, Mum?
Yeah.
And she's like, because her mum mightn't like it. And I'm like, in my little head at the time, I'm going, but she needs clean shoes. Why can't she have clean shoes? And I've never really strayed away from that.
Yes,
I've just always
fantastic.
gone, what does this person
It's innately
need?
with you.
Yeah, it's innately in me. So when someone says, what do you do? I'm like, I help uplift and inspire.
Yeah,
That's what I do.
exactly. In my own Lulu woo-woo way.
Absolutely. Lulu woo-woo way, absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah.
I
So
can see
I
you
hope
coming
that
home with little shoes.
I hope that I always do it, like, like
Now you come home with bigger shoes.
I do.
I need to help these bigger feet.
I do.
And this bigger body.
I do. It's just, I don't know. I just love it. You see something and you're like, ugh. And I've learned not to fix though.
Oh, totally.
Not to
it's
fix.
up to the individual.
That's what I've learned. Don't fix.
Yeah.
And I can't want it more than they want it.
No,
they have to really
absolutely.
want it.
Absolutely.
But I can 100% help you get from A to B. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mentor the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm
all
not
that
afraid.
coaching is all about.
It is. And I'm not afraid anymore to just say no. Mm-hmm. No.
It's not up to me as a coach. It's up to you.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to be your crutch or else you're just going back to the same place.
That's correct. Yeah, because you don't want them to become codependent, right?
Codependent on you as a coach.
It's like,
exactly.
no,
Yeah.
that's not what this is
Yeah,
about.
exactly.
You know. Yeah.
Check. Pace, lead. I love it, Lou.
Yeah, thanks, Bec.
I think we need a wine. I think a
been
nice
awesome.
crisp white wine would be just perfect
Crisp
about now. What do you reckon,
white
guys? Hi, Legends. I hope you really enjoyed today's podcast, just like we enjoyed bringing it to you. It takes a momentous team behind the scenes to actually get this done, and we'd love to hear your reviews and your comments, and also your shout-outs to our wonderful interviewees. Subscribe and share and like what we do, and that gives all of us encouragement to keep on doing what we're doing. I want you to get out there, be wild and fearless yourself, get out to adventure, get into nature, and be your best version of you. Okay, take care.